Hey guys, welcome back to part 11. The statue, a lot of videos in this video series, but definitely worth it. Just I really like showing you guys the progress and the build, and kind of give you guys some tips and tricks to make your model look as good as possible, basically. I've been doing some slight work off camera. Was wondering about the spear tip and the spear end, whether or not to pin them or to glue them. I preferred kind of pinning them first, but I've noticed that in between the end of the handle and the spear tip, there was a significant gap, and it would aesthetically be more pleasing, seeing as you have kind of like this groove going on here that continues into the spear tip, to have that filled up and then kind of make that seamless so that it looks like it's absolutely 100% one part. If you pin it and you glue it after the painting process, you see a breakup in that shape. Basically, you see like a groove, and then you see the line, and then the groove continues. So I thought it would be more aesthetically pleasing to kind of glue it, fill up the seam line, and then with a grinding tool kind of reshape that to make that look like it's seamless. So it required me to kind of glue it. As for the spear tip, or the spear end, basically, I thought if I'm gonna glue this, I might as well go all the way and glue this as well. There is, as you can see from the glue, there is a slight seam line, so I was wondering, maybe it's just aesthetically better to kind of glue it. Painting wise, this will not kind of obstruct me in any sort of way. I have enough room to kind of paint all the parts, so that's not really the issue. So I went ahead and glued it. As for other parts on the Predator, I went ahead and pinned the cloth on the back, which will allow me to kind of paint it, and then once the painting is done on this Predator, I can glue the pin and it will never come out. As for like any other work on the Predator, I think I am gonna go ahead and glue the mandibles as well, because there is a slight seam in between his kind of jaw and then the mandible, and I just want that aesthetically filled up so it's more seamless. So that's something that I am going to do as well. Because he's got such an open mouth, I don't think it's gonna obstruct kind of any kind of painting or something like that. So that is that, basically. For my collection, I don't intend to start moving anytime soon. We've invested a lot of money into our home improvements, basically. We just went looking for a new kitchen, so I don't think we're moving anytime soon, so I don't have to really take shipping into consideration or transportation into consideration. So for me personally, it seems like a good idea at the moment. And if I ever kind of decide to kind of start moving anyways, I'd be moving my statues you know, one by one or something like that, you know, not in a box. I would transport them safely, basically. Um, so that's not something that I'm worried about right now. I just want everything to be aesthetically pleasing. All the seam lines hidden as much as possible, of course. Every time I kind of take a look at the printer, I'm still in awe of the detail that he's got going on. He's such a beautiful, beautiful sculpt. Narin did an excellent job at making this guy look menacing and have such an attack pose, basically. Yeah, definitely happy that I got my hands on it. So that is for the Predator. As for the Queen, I am going to continue working on the Headcrest, the final 3 pieces that need to, the seams need to be filled. I'm going to continue working on that. You've seen me do these things like 100 times before now. So it's nothing new, just the building process. It's almost complete, guys. Almost complete, except for the dreadlocks, basically, and all the other parts can be glued and pinned and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm getting close to kind of finishing the building process. So that's kind of exciting. Seeing the statue take shape is just really gratifying. I'm really satisfied with the result right now. I don't know if I mentioned this before in any of the other videos, but in order to keep this spear perfectly straight, there is a metal rod running all the way from this point all the way here. Narin just did an excellent job at kind of, you know, making sure that it will not lose its shape. Sometimes even during shipping, because the temperature changes, parts, sometimes especially long parts, tend to kind of bend or lose their shape. And by putting a pin inside of this, that is kind of prevented. I'm still just amazed at how they engineer this, because I can guarantee you that pin wasn't put in place after it was casted. So the pin was casted with the part. So it's just, I don't know, man, how he does it. I have no idea, but the man Narin, he never disappoints. The guy knows his stuff. So, and like I said many times before, for the price that you pay for a kit like this, it's just absolutely worth it. It's just mind-blowing that he can put all this work into such a beautiful piece and then be able to sell it at the price that he does sell it for. So just absolutely amazed. So let's continue on with the Alien Queen. Finish off the work on the Headcrest, and then we got the mandibles that we have to work on, and then he is pretty much almost finished, except for the Alien Queen. Her mouthpieces, the clear casted parts, still need to kind of decide on what I'm gonna do with those. I have to bite the bullet at some point and just glue those parts in. Alright, let's continue on with the Alien Queen. And there she is. Last video I worked on this seam line. The only kind of clue that you get that this was filled up is the color difference. Other than that, it's perfectly smooth, and Narin did an excellent job at kind of using the shapes of the crest to kind of blend that perfectly. So the same situation, we have the same situation on the other side. Narin again used the shape to kind of make that look natural. So all I need to do is fill it up, and then we're basically ready to go. This piece I need to kind of let me see if I can. I need to fill up the seam as well. I already did some sanding on this, but it needs filled up to make that seamless. So we're gonna start working on this piece and kind of fill that up. It's already kind of well connected. You can see that it's minimal kind of work, so excited to kind of start working on that. Let me see if it's easier to kind of start at the bottom. She is a lot easier to handle now that I don't have any sort of loose parts to consider. There we go. So what we want to do is we're going to take a very old brush that we've used before. I'm just going to fill in that seam line. I think I've said it a couple of times now that when you buy a Narin kit, it's almost like the gold standard in resin kits. Basically, the guy is such high quality. It comes with so much every part was taken into consideration when kind of attaching it. Narin is excellent at hiding seam lines. You're really getting spoiled. He is the gold standard in kit building, basically, and a lot of resin kit builders or producers could learn a thing or two about kit building from Narin, basically. Every kit that I get, it's like, oh, how did he go about doing that? How did he accomplish that? In the background I have some relaxing music, basically 70s, 80s, 90s, some modern songs. It will help me to relax and settle down and relax my brain, basically, while I'm doing this. Give it a light sanding. And then we're going in for round 2, basically, until that seam line is completely filled up. Ja? Wil je even binnenkomen?
Papa,
Ja?
wat ben jij aan het filmen?
Wat ik aan het doen ben ik aan het filmen.
Lees dat ook op de computer wat je aan het doen bent?
Ja, kijk maar.
Oh.
Doe maar zo, hallo. Give that like a light sanding. To kind of see what your situation is gonna... If you still feel like there is like a seam line, then you're not done yet. Yeah, it might look like you're using so much baby powder and so much glue, but really it's just millimeters of millimeters that you're kind of filling up at once, basically. So you gotta do it a couple of times before it's all perfect. And sometimes you get lucky and it fills up really nicely right away, and sometimes the seam is just deeper and larger, and then it takes a little bit longer. I'm gonna do the other side now. Even if we're not 100% finished yet, I still need to do that part a little bit better. But I'm gonna do the other side first. Man, Narin really knew the perfect places to kind of put that seam between the two parts and just make it in such a way that it was very doable to kind of attach these parts again. Oh, okay. Yep. Let's play. Almost done with this seam line. And as you can see, like the other side, there's like a wavy pattern on the crest. Like it goes low, high, then high, high, and then high again. So that seam line is perfectly kind of hidden by the shape of the crest. Makes that transition a little bit less harsh. So it makes sense for there to be like some kind of shape change, if that makes sense. And while I'm just working on this, I just want to make it perfect, because it's the head crest, it's on the top, so it's visible, so you want that perfect as possible.
Papa.
Ja? Was het echt Tommy?
Ja.
Ja, weet je het zeker weten?
Ja.
Hoe weet je dat zeker?
Ja.
Oké.
En er was een andere kat die ik nog niet kende. En hij zei miauw, 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 miauw.
Oké.
Mag ik even bij je kijken?
Heel even.
Tot mama er is. Waarom maak je de hele dag het groep?
Ja, het hoort erbij.
Ben je weer met dat poeder?
Ja. You know me.
Yes,
But one thing I can tell you is you got to be free. Come together right now over me. Seamless. Nice. Took us about an hour to do it, but then it's kind of perfect on top. Gotta check the bottom, of course. But the top is perfect. Yeah, together. And as you can see, there's so many ridges that Even if there's like a small inconsistency, it kind of blends perfectly together with the shape that is already there. That's not really a problem. That is like perfect design by Narin. Also, one other thing about prepping a model is that you get to know the model. You get to know its cracks and crevices, and you get to know details that you might remember during the painting process. Like, oh, there's an area that I've noticed before. I maybe want to make that look this way or that way. You kind of get to know the piece that you're working on a lot better when you got pieces that you have to prep. Dun, dun, dun. All right, now we got only the other side. Let me see if I can get that on camera. There we go. I need to kind of adjust this a little bit. I think it's best if I just do it like that. And it's easy as that. That is perfectly smooth, even though you're kind of looking, that looks like something, that's nothing. It's perfectly smooth, and that is what we're trying to achieve. Let's see, is that I'm very, very satisfied with that. And do a small little sanding right here. Wow. Then we only have the final spike basically that we need to do, and it's a very small piece. Still, it's kind of awkward kind of position to be working in, but I should have done this like the first thing before gluing the crest to the rest of the body, but probably wasn't thinking. That's what you get when you're so in awe with a piece and you're so fired up and enthusiastic about something, then you forget about that sort of stuff. Good lesson to learn is that when you're working on a piece like this, and I keep saying that to you guys, but then I forget about it myself, is to kind of plan your prepping, which part to do first, and then I give the advice and then never follow my own advice. But it's okay. It works fine the way it is right now. Make that absolutely seamless, and then kind of to finish that off, make sure that that is go. So now we got that looking like that. It's still kind of drying, but that's okay. We're gonna let that sit. And that is blending perfectly together with the rest of the sculpt. Kind of going with the theme, with the ridge kind of theme. So there's supposed to be a little bit of a not a seam but a line, so that seam was perfectly placed in the position where it's supposed to be at. Alright, that is perfect. Perfect. Do a final kind of check. And then I think she is ready. Except for the teeth. Right. I believe we are done with the headcrest. So all things considered was fairly doable in a few hours time, considering that it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then attached to the main body was seven big heavy seam lines that need filling, but eight seam lines. We had the neck obviously, and then we had that seam line that needed filling. Overall, very nicely done by Narin. Took all the kind of seam lines, or took all the seams into consideration, putting them in places where it was a little less obvious, and with some good work, You'll never ever see them. If I think that it needs like a final pass with some sanding, I'll take the rotary tool. That'll kind of help me with round shapes and stuff like that. We obviously did the shoulder, which turned out great. I'm very happy with how this seam line turned out, or the seam filling turned out. Also in the bottom, and you can see from these kind of details that they blend perfectly together, and it now looks like they're all attached. So same thing on the other side. It's just perfectly blended together to make it look like it's all one piece. So at least this is done. Alright guys, the headcrest is complete. I went over some areas that I thought needed extra sanding, and for now I think she is finished. The only thing that I have to do now is to figure out what to do with the teeth and the membrane and the inner mouth. Whether I am going to go ahead and glue those. I do understand that I need to kind of paint this area before I glue on the clear parts, because otherwise you're gonna see the orange resin coming through, obviously. So I have to do an initial kind of round of paint job, figure out a base color that I want to use, then go ahead and paint it or glue it, and then finish off with the final details. So it's gonna be a little bit tricky, but I'm not even near this paint job yet, so I have plenty of time to figure out what to do with that. Let me see. The only real thing that I have to do right now is to kind of glue the mandibles in place, make sure that the seams are filled up, and then I'll be basically finished with the building process. It was a very fun project to be working on. It's absolutely worth every dollar that you spend on this kit. It's a very straightforward kit, not difficult at all unless you don't know how to fill in seam lines, obviously. But you know, considering it's such a big piece, such a big statue, I really feel that it was easy to build, you know, very straightforward. The only thing that's gonna be a real challenge is the painting process. There's so much detail. There is, you know, so much complexity on both the alien queen and the predator. So you know, a kit like this will definitely require time, attention to detail, and definitely some painting skills, no doubt about that. I think it's a wise thing to do to kind of look what, for example, a company like Sideshow has done with the Alien Queen, and kind of try and mimic that kind of paint job. Those are obviously very good references. But overall, very happy I got the chance to buy her. She does need some touching up here and there in terms of sanding, just a few little areas that need smoothing. Nothing serious. But yeah, the building process is pretty much complete, other than the mandibles on the predator. Maybe I can do that right now. We'll see. I want to thank you guys for watching part 11. Part 12 is probably going to be the last one finally. And then I'll pick this video series back up when I'm ready to go and paint her. Stay tuned for the big surprise next week. Have a surprise for you guys in store, so stay tuned, and I'll see you next video, guys.